What is going on, YouTube? Today what we're doing is we're looking at the brand new cooler. Honestly, we probably have a brand new Broly on our hands, so we're going to take a look at this a little in depth today. Stay tuned, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so as usual you have all the information for the giveaway on the screen. Make sure that you're a subscriber. You must be subscribed in order to enter the giveaway. Like the video and listen for the 2 questions I'll be asking you throughout the video. Drop that down in the comments below. Without further ado guys, let's get right into the video. So this is the brand new cooler. Now I did get him up to 4 stars and I ran out of crystals, so we're going to be looking at his stats just one step up from what you'll see on the banner. So you'll see the kind of stat progression that he gets as he gains more stars. The animation looks as follows. Very cool. If you hold it down, it does change. Now this actually looks amazing to me. Amazing art. I love it. This is one of my favorite characters, right? So I'm going to be a little bit of a fanboy throughout this video. But let's get right into these stats here. So for comparison, at 5 stars, Broly has about close to 90,000, not quite 90,000 for his highest stat. Cooler does only have 81,000, right? So it's going to be not that kind of comparison, but there is something that brings him up to par later on that we'll have a look at. But for now, just looking at the stats, 761,000, not all that high. The strike attack, blast attack, again, very standard at this point. Strike and blast defense, not that high either, considering we have people getting up into the 60,000s. So kind of a squishy champion, not a whole lot of health, not a whole lot of defense, right? Same for the attacks, we'll see what happens later on, but overall, my first impression when I was looking at these stats, I was thinking, well, maybe they realized what they did with Broly and they're trying to kind of not make him this giant tank that can go through everything, right? And that should give you a hint of why I'm calling him the new Broly. He does bring 2 strike cards, which is going to be good because he is a melee card. He is a transforming warrior and a lineage of evil, obviously. Now, look at this right here with blast damage armor. The strike card brings blast damage armor. It's a blessing and a curse. Basically, the issue here is that, yes, you'll be able to have different teams. So specifically, the Frieza team will be able to have their own kind of Broly now. The movie team just got stronger. You can have a lineage of evil team. So, it won't just be holy trinities all over the place. If you are a whale, the movie team was definitely, it was already the best team. Now it is definitely the best team because of the following. You can now run 2 units that can just go through blast cards. Even if they're Rising Rush 1, you have the other to just continue being an abusive piece of garbage. So I don't know how I feel about this overall. I think it is a good thing for the meta. I think that the more units we have that can go through blast damage like this is going to kind of make the whole not having Broly thing a non-issue, where you can have something else to fill in that slot. The only issue is that we're gonna end up with a team at some point that will have just 3 people going through blast cards, and blast cards will just be that completely undesirable thing, right? So already they cost more. We generally want the strike cards because you can chain more. They're just more efficient, they're faster. I don't see this direction being the good way to go, but we'll see, okay? This is definitely a step in the right direction to kind of balance out the meta. So I was saying that new units in the last video, new units may be what kind of balance everything out. Well, having something else to match Broly's overpowered ability of going through blast cards, a good step in the right direction, right? So blast cards, just regular impact. Supernova, this looks really cool, guys. Deals major explode damage, reduces enemy ki by 30 on hit, cannot be nullified by most other special moves. So this is your standard Supernova. Basically it just goes through other supers. So Broly has it, I believe Pod Frieza has it. There's a few units in the game that have this ability. So basically just your big giant ball over his head, basically. Matchless Pride, 20% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Again, very standard. The whole 15 to 20% increased damage to your main type is very standard at this point, but changes own blast cards to strike arts cards. This is an amazing ability. For it costs 19, so it does cost more than your standard 14 for these kind of buffs, but it transforms all of your blast cards to strike cards. This is so good because you can mid combo use this and then continue on with strike cards while doing more strike damage. So you hit them once, pop this, and then just wail on them. So it's gonna be huge when we look at why getting that 20% is going to be important later on. Just bear with me for now. Atomic Supernova, again, looks amazing. They're really putting in work in these animations. Deals massive explode damage, draws a special arts card next on hit. Blast armor when charging forward. So again, basically just copying Broly in this in every way. So his ultimate goes through blast cards, his strike cards go through blast cards. I mean, his green card is amazing. He doesn't need the whole going through blast cards thing that Broly has. This is way better. Abilities. So obviously you get your ultimate as any character does. He doesn't get any kind of boost for using his main ability here. So I was kind of surprised actually, because when you're going this hard at making a character overpowered, I was really sure that they would have, you know, that extra bonus. But then, all right, that's fine. They're keeping it, you know, keeping it down. The Z abilities. So the 3-star gives you 22% to your strike attack. If you do get 5 stars, which I have 4 stars, you get 23%, but you get the double buff, so strike attack and defense. So kind of again following that whole wail it out rule. Now this is what I want to talk about. So when this character enters the battlefield, the following effects will occur if a tag Lineage of Evil other than this character is a battle member. 40% to damage inflicted, not 40% strike, not 40% blast, just 40% overall damage inflicted. So this is another branch of damage, right? This isn't your base stats. This isn't something that, you know, will be kind of not representative in some way. No, this is 40% your damage inflicted, period. So big buff, and this has no timer. So you switch to Final Form Kura here, or Cooler, however you want to pronounce it. As long as you have another Lineage of Evil tag on your team, he's getting 40% overall damage and -5 to own strike and blast arts cost, and 25% to own key recovery. That is where that whole, remember these stats here, where the 81 and 75, it doesn't matter. He's getting 40% overall damage. He has a Sagas from the Movies tag. He can get that whole 2000% buff. You guys see where I'm going with this, right? It's going to be ridiculous. You can run him with the green cooler, which is a Lineage of Evil Sagas from the Movies tag, so you don't even have to nerf yourself and use Frieza for any reason at all here. Just run those two plus the Broly, so you have 2 units going through. One of them is getting 40% extra damage. Broly, when he transforms, is overall stronger stats wise, so you have these ridiculously hard-hitting units that can go through your blast cards. I mean, I'm excited because it fits on my team, but damn, man, there's going to be so many people that are going to be tilted off of this right here. I mean, especially once you get into 5 stars, you get the double buffs. It's going to be ridiculous. But again, remember that he does only buff the Lineage of Evil. So that is something to definitely keep in mind. It's not a movie team buff, it's a Lineage of Evil buff. So it's going to be affecting him and the other cooler only. So just keep that in mind. Coming back to the last one, we have the Bartok Effect on this unit. If everything else so far wasn't enough, we do have the Bartok Effect. So similar to Bartok, basically he gets buffed when he's with a Lineage of Evil, and he buffs the Lineage of Evil with him. So applies the following effects to allied Lineage of Evil when this character is switched to standby. So 35% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. So again, overall damage inflicted, not strike, not blast, overall damage, and 30% to critical rate. So you're getting crits on top of the damage inflicted. If you're not familiar with Green Cooler, he does a bunch more blast damage in the first opening, I think it's 30 seconds or something of the game. So if you're starting with a blue unit, which is way more desirable than starting with a red unit on the movie team, you end up going against, you know, the Kaioken Gokus, the Bardoks and stuff like that from Holy Trinity. It is way better to start with a blue unit than a red unit. So going from this to then the other cooler, and then having that Broly to come in after he has his transformation is amazing. You can kind of switch the other Broly in mid-combo to tank that damage and then heal up when you transform. It's going to be amazing. So I'm definitely going to be dropping a video, a lot of content actually, because all these units are really amazing. Today it's just, this video is kind of going way longer than I was expecting, but I think that it's really important for us to kind of acknowledge how this unit is kind of going to affect the meta, especially when it comes to the Frieza Force, especially when it comes to the Lineage of Evil tag, which is kind of going to shape up here, because we're going to get King Cold probably at some point. We're likely to get maybe different versions, maybe like the Metal Cooler or something like that. So Lineage of Evil still has room to grow and become its own tag outside of the Frieza Force. So very interesting to see where this all goes. With that being said, guys, the questions I'll ask you for today will be, number one, how excited are you for this banner? How happy are you that it's not just some more Saiyan love, right? I mean, I might be the only one. Maybe you guys really like the Saiyans. I personally am loving the fact that we are finally going to see some diversity outside of the Holy Trinity. Because the movie team, I mean, yes, it was better, but it was for whales. If you were not a whale, you did not have the double buffs coming in and the movie tags for all the units and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you weren't a whale, then Holy Trinity was the way to go. And as you saw, the meta was basically just that. Not everyone is a whale out there, right? So now you don't even need that anymore, because you can just kind of run this with the other cooler and the Broly, and I mean you're just looking to buff them at this point, right? So whether or not you're going with a full double buff movie team or just standard movie buffs, you know, the singular buffs, it's still fine, right? So second question will be, in terms of the use of this new cooler, would you rather have him on a Frieza team? Would you rather have him on a movie team? Asking specifically because I'm going to be dropping probably some more content as we go out throughout the week. Gogeta still eluding us, so we're going to be kind of looking at different uses, how he fits. I'm going to be building different teams. A lot of good stuff, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop that down in the comment. Make sure that you guys subscribe, and without further ado, guys, I will see you in the next video. See ya!